أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البلد الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. And I give thanks and I say unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Amasa Yahuda, Amasa Negusto Negusto Daniel Ama. Komaya Sataya. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the heathen, that sitteth in the seat that is scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in this law I see I detect sunrise and sundown. Him I go there like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth fruit in his season. Him lick never I go wither, and whatsoever him doeth shall prosper. Yay! The heathen them now, they saw them there like a chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the heathen them never go turn upon judgment of the sin among them in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord God Jah, never the way of the righteous and the way of the sin among them, always and always I go perish. Karama away, groma be. Ow, mauso bolisa. I don't know what I was a sick player for. Ow, mauso bolisa. Mauso bolisa. Mauso bolisa. Akpe, kaka. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Sodom, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. In every traditional African home there is a black pot. And every time this black pot rests on the fire, ingredients of so many different colors, shapes, sizes, and even aromas find themselves inside the black pot, be subjected to some amount of heating. They produce one homogeneous product known as food. Now the food does not benefit the black pot, neither does it benefit the ingredients. It benefits us, those who eat the food. But selflessly, each time the black pot sits on the fire, the ingredients will come in, putting aside all their various differences and looking at the bigger picture. Now, symbolically, the black pot represents the continent of Africa, and the ingredients represent us as a people. We are also of so many different shades of color, so many different sizes and shapes. We must put aside all these differences, come together in the black pot, which is now the continent of Africa, be subjected to some amount of sacrifice, and then we will produce that one homogeneous product known as development for our people. We must be a tree planting generation. For too long we planted tomatoes, planted onions, planted maize, one season crop. Plant now, in a few days time you harvest, eat, sleep, die, go, be forgotten. No, we have to plant trees now. Now there are so many people who do not want to plant trees. One, because it takes so long, according to them, for trees to grow. Now they will not live long enough to sit under the shade of these trees. In other words, they will not benefit from planting these trees. Now anytime you see a tree, especially when you sit under the shade and enjoy it, remember that some other people selflessly planted those trees. Today they might not be here with us, but we are benefiting from the fruits of their labor. This show seeks to rewire your thinking, rewire your mindset. It is a show of the mindset. We are masters of Pan-Africanism on TV. At the same time, we are in the service of God and country. That is why it is not our delicacy. in fact, to criticize. But if we must criticize, we will make it our delicacy only to build and not to destroy. We are live on Pan-African TV, also live on Loud Silence TV. We are live on Black Empire TV and live on Ghana Web TV. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to fire. Yes, we speak truth to fire. And this fire is the fire of the politician, the fire of the wicked man, but will come in like water and quench out all the fire. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushodemo, and today we have a number of things to look at. Now, the very first thing I would like to look at today is rolling on your screen. What does it say? Gay doctor Ali-Gabass speaks from jail. Gay doctor Ali-Gabass speaks from jail. Who is Ali-Gabass? This is Ali-Gabass, a medical doctor who was stationed in Takrady. In fact, he was very instrumental in the Muslim community. In fact, at a point in Takrady, if he did not move, a lot of Muslim activities would come to a halt. The Jehovah's Witnesses loved him because Ali-Gabass was a man who would have a whole surgery on you and you would not lose that much blood. And you know Jehovah's Witnesses and their blood issue, they do not believe in blood transfusion. So if they have a doctor like this who will take them through a surgery without making them lose blood or even giving them blood transfusion, then he was their best friend. But he had cobwebs around him. In fact, he had skeletons in his cupboard. He was gay. Now, in a country like Ghana where you are gay, it's almost like being called an armed robber. In fact, in Ghana, an armed robber is better than a gay. Today, if they go out there and shout, armed robber, ole, 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 or barao, barao, you know, many people would sit back in their rooms and say, oh, others will chase him. Other people would get him. But let them shout, gay, gay, kojo besia, hey. Even cockroaches will come out of every hiding hole to run after the gay man. For them, if they kill a gay, they go to heaven. For them, if they beat and teach the gay man a lesson, then they are closer to God. True or false? For some time now, all over Africa, except for a few countries, homosexuality has never been tolerated. In some countries, it's punishable by death. This doctor, by his religion, was not supposed to be gay. Islam does not encourage homosexuality. In fact, Islam has very terrible punitive measures for gayism. But he was a hidden gay, doing his own thing. Oh my God. He was doing it. Apart from that, he was also a pedophile. This doctor, loved by the Jehovah's Witnesses and at the same time by the Muslim community, he did so much for the Muslim community in the Western region. And he did so much in the hospitals. In fact, those who he worked with, in fact, said that he was a very, very serious doctor. But boom, the news came out that he was gay. In fact, we started hearing it simmering around. Manasseh Azure. Find me a photograph of Manasseh Azure. Manasseh Azure got wind of the information that this doctor was gay. And then he went underground. In fact, to find out exactly if Ali-Gabass was actually gay. And boom, he carried a recording device on him and went all the way to Takrady. And he went into the office of Ali-Gabass. He welcomed him in. He was so happy to see him. Little did he know that the news he was bringing him wasn't that palatable. In fact, in Manasseh's whole life of journalism, he said if there was one man he would have left off the hook, albeit his principles would not allow that, it would have been this same Dr. Ali-Gabass. Oh my God. Now see what happened. He planted a recording device on him, went into the office of Dr. Ali-Gabass, and the interview started. Doc, I met a boy who said you have been sleeping with him for the past how many years? Today he's 16. But for some years now, you have been taking advantage of him, having annals with him. Oh, the doctor broke down and started crying. I have the tape. Many other people heard it when it was aired. He cried. He started by shouting, "Oh, Ya Allah, oh, Ya Allah, oh, Ya Allah, oh, Ya Allah, oh, Ya Allah, this disease, oh, this curse, why? This disease, this curse. I have tried, Manasseh, all this while to be able to away with this terrible disease of gayism. My religion does not like it. The people in the community don't like it. The culture frowns on it. Anytime I try to do away with it, that is the time that I get the feeling to even do it more." It's true. I've been sleeping with the boy. It's true. Then Manasseh asked him again, "Do you know that the boy is HIV positive?" And he says that you are responsible. This man denied it, that he himself was not HIV positive, that the boy was the one who contacted him on Facebook and told him he was gay. And they have started doing their own thing. All of a sudden, the boy started demanding so much money from him. In fact, trying to blackmail him. And the relationship fell apart. That was why the boy went to report. And the news came out. Well, everything was on tape. Long story cut short, Ali-Gabass was taken to court after Manasseh blew the story. And then the court asked Manasseh to come over and be a witness, in fact, to the whole caboodle. He came. The little boy's identity was covered, HIV positive. But when they tested Ali-Gabass, they never came out with whether he was actually HIV positive or not. You know, for reasons best known to the professionals. My brother, my sister, Ali-Gabass was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment. Before Manasseh left his office, he told him, "Manasseh, what are you going to gain if you send me to jail and the people of Ghana suffer because they need doctors like me?" Manasseh looked at him and he asked again, "Manasseh, the Jehovah's Witnesses, I am their only hope in the region. The Muslims in this area, I play a solid role in their lives. In fact, the whole community, I am a hero. If this thing comes out, they will all suffer. Is there something that you can do for me? If you let this go, I promise you that I will stop this gayism." Manasseh said, "Well, I will speak with my bosses because I am an errand boy. We will find out." But when he took the story to Joy News, bam, they carried it up and my brother was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment. Come here! 25 years in jail from 2015. So if he's actually supposed to spend 25 years in jail from 2015, my brother, my sister, that means he'll be coming out of jail in 2040. 2040. In 2040, I'm sure I'll be walking with a stick and I'll be trying to find out which animal this is. What's the name of that animal and all that. On a more serious note, my brother, from the first year he got into prison, people started advocating that they should give him presidential pardon. Look at the headlines. Bam! This is from where? Ghana Politics Online. And it says, "Family of Dr. Ali-Gabass plead for presidential pardon." Look at the other headline. And this is from Yen. My brother, my sister, and it says what? "Gay Dr. Ali-Gabass to be freed under presidential pardon." And this was released when? March 15, 2018. 3 years after he had gone in there. He had been handed a 25-year jail sentence. Look at the next one. What does it say? Presidential pardon. Grant presidential pardon to Dr. Sule Ali-Gabass. I implore you, an open letter to President Akufo-Addo. My brother, my sister, and this one was when? 2021. And when you look at it, my brother, my sister, you sit back and you ask yourself a very important question. You want a presidential pardon for him because he's your family member. That's one. Number two, you want a presidential pardon for him because he's so useful in the community. What happened to the little boy that he sodomized for only God knows how long? What happened to the HIV case? A doctor started sodomizing a little boy. Now the little boy alleges that he caught HIV/AIDS from the sodomite doctor. Just the first year of prison, people already start advocating, free Dr. Ali-Gabass, free him because he's a medical doctor, without thinking about what he took the little boy through. Now the little boy had gone into a serious depression. In fact, and he needed a counselor, a psychologist. The counselor tried, psychologist tried, it wasn't working. The boy was thrown into total oblivion. He had to live life that way, probably till the end of his life. He will be that confused. In fact, at the time of going to court, the boy was wearing heavy pampers. He could not control, in fact, the excreta that came out of his body. At the time of going to court, the boy's identity had to be concealed, all because of what he was going through. Ali-Gabass still went to court and denied that he had done anything to the boy. Was he remorseful? After being caught on tape confessing to Manasseh, Awini Azure, that he had done it and it was the work of the devil and so on and so forth, he went to court on the advice of his lawyers probably. He said he was not guilty. He didn't do anything wrong. Is this a man who deserves pardon? Come here. Is this a man who deserves pardon? Let truth be told. He didn't go to court to say, hey, yes, I did it. I honestly did it. I don't know what came over me. In fact, in the tape, he told Manasseh that whilst he was even abroad studying, he was still doing that kind of thing. My brother, my sister, my biggest problem here is that this was a minor who was being taken through this. So the man is seen as a pedophile. Number two, he's seen as a sodomite in a land where sodomy is a crime. Thirdly, now he's standing on the fact that he's a philanthropist and is helping the community. And for that matter, he should be given the right to do anything that is noxious to the community. Do you understand it? Because I am helping some people forgive my wrongs, so I can continue doing the wrongs. Listen, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. But let's look at the main story. What does the main story say about Dr. Sule Ali-Gabass? Watch it. It says, remember Dr. jailed for sodomizing a 16-year-old boy? See what he's doing in prison. That will shock you. A medical doctor who was arrested for sodomy in 2015 and made headlines in changing people's lives at the Insawam medium security prison in Eastern region. That's him, Dr. Ali-Gabass, handsome-faced Ali-Gabass, and he's married anyway. His wife is an Hajia. Now, the project allows prison inmates serving a long sentence to enroll onto UCC's distance learning program. Dr. Ali-Gabass has been appointed a tutor in the same courses in the sciences. Before he went to prison for sodomizing a 16-year-old boy, Dr. Sule Ali-Gabass was a doctor at the Efien Kwanta Regional Hospital in the Western region. He is in jail right now for 25 years because of the crime. But after only 4 years in prison, he is a key part of a new project by the University of Cape Coast, UCC, that gives prisoners the chance to get a diploma. So together with lecturers of UCC, that's the University of Cape Coast, and prison officers as well as inmates with professional skills, Dr. Ali-Gabass is helping to make the Plan Volta Foundations project a success. Recently, some 59 inmates graduated with a diploma in various courses through the project. How jailed medical Dr. Sule Ali-Gabass is helping to reform lives in prison, and that is what it is talking about. My brother, my sister, dash it away. Listen, he's doing well in prison, but that is what prison is for anyway. People are supposed to go there and reform. Now, we all know that in our prisons, People are fed on some meager amount of money. Morning, afternoon, evening. In fact, prisoners are treated so badly. They are taken through punitive measures and not reformatory courses. They are in there treated like animals. My brother, my sister, is unfortunate. But what is good for the goose must be good for the gander. Dr. Ali-Gabass must be made to pay for his crimes. That's what it is. If after a period, the president realizes that, okay, we can give a pardon to this man, then we will go ahead. But it will be so sad that a man who is supposed to be spending 25 years in jail, just after the first year, people want him out. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? Do you know for how long he sodomized this child? Do you know how many other little boys he sodomized? My brother, my sister, in our prisons, we are told that sodomy is the order of the day. Men are in there, they are not allowed to meet their wives and have some conjugation. No conjugation visits. So they start sodomizing each other. Some are forced to be sodomized. What is happening to Ali-Gabass there? Is he getting the opportunity to ply his other day job there, sodomy? My brother, my sister, hey, it doesn't matter whether it's your brother or your sister, your uncle or your doctor. Abaya di botechino. Enua bine wose di boba. One crime should have the same punishment. But if one crime can have so many different punishments, then we don't have justice. If you say sodomy is punishable by going to prison for 25 years, that's what your law says. Uphold it. My problem is he shouldn't come out because he's a doctor. No. In some countries, sodomy is okay, but not pedophilia. Think about it. So, Dr. Ali-Gabass, much as we love you, much as we would want to see you free, come out and work, please be responsible enough to stay in jail. Stay there. Maybe that's where God wants you to be, to reform and help the prisoners. Yes, there are people who are doing worse things than you who are walking out, but that is not an excuse for us to also be worse. There are thieves who are politicians. There are politicians who are worse than armed robbers. There are politicians who do worse than sodomy and pedophilia. But they are walking around free. They protect each other. But that again is not a reason for us to exempt ourselves from decency. Dr. Ali-Gabass, please stay there. For me, if there would be any pardon at all, it should be after 10 years. I don't hate him. But I hear they are going back to court, left and right, to try and reduce the number of years. If the court says yes, that's okay. But I think that 10 years is enough for a man to sit back and think. Because it will be a joke for you to put a man in jail for 25 years. And then all of a sudden, after the first year, he should come out because of pardon. What kind of laws do you have? But again, I'll conclude on this. If I was the president of this country, Ali-Gabass will never go to jail. You know why I will not put him in there? I would rather put him in a hotel where he will be fed well. But he will go to the farm every day. What is his farm going to be like? The hospital. He would be sent to the hospital to work. Whilst prison officers are watching, he will do his work. That is his trade. All the money that he will earn within that period will be given to the state. If he doesn't have any skills, we'll train him as a farmer and he will go and work on the state farm. If he's a blacksmith, we'll put him in one of the government institutions specializing in the skills of what? Blacksmithing. Whatever skills you have, we'll put you in there to work. The money will go to the government. That means you are working, but the money is going to help the government. From that money, you are fed well. Your health is taken care of. How many people think this makes sense? I don't believe in prison system, jail system, where people are locked up and they are just there to waste up. No! You will go through course. In some countries, people go to jail and come out with PhDs. They give them the opportunity to better themselves. That is why we call it reformatory system, not punitive. So Dr. Ali-Gabass already has his skills as a doctor. We'll give him the opportunity to go to the hospitals and ply his trade. But just the same way that prison officers go out and watch prisoners work, prison officers will be around him. He will be dressed like a prisoner and work like that. All the money he will earn will go to the state. How many people think that this is sensible? I don't believe in locking people in hen coops and forcing them to inbreed, sodomize each other, use one toilet for about 1,000 people. That is barbarism. There are other people who are there. For the past 20 years, they are there. But because nobody is speaking for them, they are not getting any presidential pardon. Because he's a doctor, he should get a presidential pardon. This is not an animal farm. This is the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushunemo, where we speak truth to power. Next story. NDC, not that democratic after all. NDC, not that democratic after all. Come here. Watch me. Hear me. NDC stands for National Democratic Congress. The word D, democratic, is the middle name of the party. For some time now, this party has been seen as one that is a joke to democracy, the figment of the imagination of the people who claim that they belong to a democratic party. Hear me now. Now, the founder of their party himself came into power by undemocratic means, picking up the gun, slaying people, painting the whole city red with human blood. In fact, he was head of state of this country for several years undemocratically. Suspended the constitution and did whatever he wanted. When he was tired and fed up, and when Ghanaians made so much noise, so many Ghanaians ran into exile. And I'm talking about Jerry John Rawlings. So many Ghanaians ran into exile. Let the blood flow, Junior Jesus. He shot and killed people. Our mothers were beaten up undemocratically. Some people were summarily jailed and some executed just like that in kangaroo courts. But they still call their party National Democratic Congress. My brother, my sister, after some time, when Rawlings made his exit, it looked like they were trying to bring the party into some kind of reality, the realism of democracy. And many people applauded this. Remember, it was the same Rawlings who encouraged multi-party elections, and people went to elect new leaders and so on and so forth. Exactly when I said when he was tired of the undemocratic things that he did. My brother, my sister, this is Jerry John Rawlings. He's gone. We buried him the other day. Some said he died from COVID. Other people said heart attack. Whatever he did, we pray that God will have mercy on him. He was a Catholic. So he believed in God. He believed in Jesus Christ. Oh, he's gone now. But what is happening to his party right now? Are they going back to the days of undemocratic behavior? Watch this thing. We were never consulted on NDC parliamentary leadership reshuffle. And this is Muntaka Mubarak. Many people will remember him as the Chichinga man. Remember when Alban Bagbin came out and said that, what happened? Put away this picture for the time being. Put it off. Listen. Listen. Pay attention. Pay attention. Listen. Chichinga Mubarak was the man who was the sports minister at the time. He had a spiritualist for the Black Stars. In fact, a Malam. And they were paying the Malam for Bansiri and prayers for the Black Stars to win. In fact, he had parties where he brought Chichinga on board. Thirdly, according to Alban Bagbin, he traveled with his secretary. I'm talking about Alban Bagbin's secretary. Today, Alban Bagbin is the Speaker of Parliament for the same party, the National Undemocratic Party. My brother, my sister, they traveled outside the country, and Alban Bagbin was angry. How do you travel with my secretary? Just like that. Of course, probably they had something doing. He's a Muslim. He's entitled to 4 wives if he wants. My brother, my sister, these are some of the things we remember Mubarak for. Muntaka Mubarak. Oh gosh, he's the MP for Asawase. He's the one making those utterances. Bring back that headline. We were never consulted on NDC parliamentary leadership reshuffle. And that's Muntaka Mubarak speaking. Run the story. The former minority chief whip, Muntaka Mubarak, says the leadership of the National Democratic Congress NDC in parliament was never consulted ahead of the changes in the front bench. At a press conference, the Asawase legislator insisted the assertions that they were comprehensive discussions ahead of the move are false. So you heard that? At a press conference, the Asawase legislator insisted the assertion that there were comprehensive discussions ahead of the move are false. Addressing journalists, he said, at no such meeting was there any agenda to discuss this. It is clear that it is a letter, yes, written by the General Secretary, but the decision may just be the decision of a few people in the party. He added. The NDC on Tuesday reshuffled, and that's the meat of the story. The NDC on Tuesday reshuffled its leadership in parliament by appointing a Jumaku Enyam Esiam legislator, Dr. Kesiel Atuforsen, as the new minority leader. In the shake-up, MP for Ketu North, James Kluche Aveji, and the MP for Asawase, Muntaka Mubarak, lost their positions as minority leader, deputy minority leader, and minority chief whip, respectively. They have been replaced by the MP for Ejumako Enyam Isiam, Dr. Kesiel Atuforsen, MP for Elembele, Emmanuel Kofi Bua, and MP for Adaklu, Kwame Agboja, as minority leader, deputy minority leader, and minority chief whip, respectively. But the development has not gone down well with Mr. Muntaka, despite a meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 31, 2023, between the minority and the party leadership to settle some differences. I heard some of the officers saying that some elders were sent to talk to us. I will be happy for it to be mentioned which elder was sent to talk to me, because nobody was sent to talk to me. He narrated. Muntaka Mubarak was in the company of Zebila East legislator Kletos Avoka, who described the new appointments as premature and demanded the suspension of same. Meanwhile, the new leaders addressed the press concurrently at the NDC headquarters. Dash it away. This is the letter. This is the letter he was talking about. The NDC wrote, and they decided to bring it out and say, well, this is what we have decided. You are no longer in your position. You two are no longer in your position, because there was a coronation. There actually was no voting. Interesting. But another MP from Tamale there. In fact, we know him in Tamale as a Zion man, because he loved to speak patois. He loved reggae music and all that. Oh my God. Murtala Ibrahim. That's him. Murtala Ibrahim is not happy at all. Why is Murtala not happy? Look, Murtala and Haruna Idrisu had a big fight a couple of years back. Murtala was on a radio station in Tamale saying that Haruna Idrisu had ill-gotten wealth. And he said a lot of things out of anger. And he also alleged that Haruna Idrisu was in his constituency to spoil things up for him. Well, he lost the elections and he came back And he was able to win after going to apologize to Haruna. And they became friends again. This is Haruna. Listen, this man has been in politics from when he was a student. He is the king of the north when it comes to politics. He's the biggest guy there, whether you like it or not. Hey, I have information that some northern MPs even go to him for chop money. You know what that means? If the MP's salary is not big enough and he still has to go to a fellow MP and collect chop money, then you should know that there's so much pressure on our MPs. To be an MP in Ghana is the biggest case. I don't want it. Constitution will tell you that to be an MP, you represent a certain what? Constituency. Now your constituencies are running after you. The constituents are so crazy from the different constituencies coming to you. And in the north, it's so terrible that some of them come to ask you for money to buy a new bulb because their bulbs died in their rooms. Some come to you, they want money to marry another wife. Some come to you to tell you that their wives are pregnant and they need money for hospital. Some of these things, that's not the work of the MP. But education is so low in those areas. People see the MP as the cash cow. If you are an MP and you don't give them, they see you as a terrible person. Haruna Idrisu understands this, and every now and then you will see him in the constituency. Do not be surprised to see him playing football with some of the boys. Sometimes he's playing draft. And Wale, we call it Wale. You say Oware, but in the north they say Wale. They play that and all that. And he doesn't just play and get up and go. He puts his hands in his pockets and he gives out. He has a radio station in the area that has employed a number of people. He has endeared himself to the community. In fact, if you want to win an election in the northern region and you don't talk to Haruna Idrisu, you stand a better chance of losing. But all in all, it doesn't make Haruna Idrisu indispensable. No way. Haruna Idrisu can still be kicked out. But the way they were kicked out, do you think that it was the best? In fact, it's now that details are coming in. They were never consulted. They woke up and learned of their fate from the media. What kind of disrespectful behavior is this? Some people have been fingered. Asedun Katia, Fifi Kwete, they have been fingered. I don't know which of the fingers they used to finger them, whether it's this, or is this, or is that, or is that, or is that, or this. I don't know. This is Asedun Ketia. And this is Fifi Kwete. In fact, they won in the last elections, party elections. But this is not good for the party. You know why? They should have sat down, talked to the people, explained to them why there is the need for the change. But they didn't. How do I know that they didn't say it? Because we read from the news. But look at what Murtala Ibrahim is also saying. Let's look at it. NDC, NEC did not change Haruna Idrisu. Asedun Ketia, Fifi Kote did. And that's Murtala Mohammed speaking. The MP for Tamale Central, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, a.k.a. a Zion man, has refuted suggestions that the National Executive Council, NEC, of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, took the decision to replace the parliamentary leadership of the party. The question I asked them is, was this decision taken by the FEC or NEC? But the first highest decision-making body of the party is Congress. The second highest decision-making body of the party is NCEC. I am a member of the NEC. The third highest decision-making body is FEC. So any of these can take a decision for the party that is binding on everybody, not individuals within these spectral structures. Someone should produce minutes of NEC's meetings where the decision was taken to appoint a new leadership. I don't think the national chairman and secretary, general secretary, will be unhappy with us raising legitimate questions, in my opinion, about their actions. He said, dash it away. So NDC, you are behaving undemocratically. Yes, you chose them. But before you chose them, you sat down with them to talk to them and see if they would agree to take those positions. When they agreed, before you made the announcement. Same way, if you are dethroning them, or for want of a better word, if you are excusing them of duty, what do? You speak with them and give them reasons, and then they will give you their blessing and you move on. Now, internally, people are fighting. People say if Haruna does not return, there will not be any voting for the NDC. Is this good for you? Haruna is not indispensable, but the way you went about it, you messed it up for yourselves. Are you sure that you really want power? In Asawasi, the police have now gone out there to chase people out who are burning lorry ties and so on and so forth at the NDC head office. It's not good for your party. Please behave democratically, or else change the name of your party to NUC, National Undemocratic Party, or Individual Undemocratic Party. This is not good. I hear former President Mahama is not happy about this, and it's so sad. So many people are bringing in their views left, right, and center, and you have given them the opportunity to go to the gallery with this nonsense. In the interim, behave properly. Please fix your roof. Put your house in order if you truly want to be taken serious. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. We return. Some more. Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Kukushonemo.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Blakk RASTA. Next story. Remember to do business with us. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and speak with us. This is going to be very brief. Congratulations, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe means the house of rock. The house built on rocks. Zimbabwe wins with village farming. Interesting. Hey. From last year all the way down to this year, it looks like a heavy blessing has come on Zimbabwe. They discovered lithium. In fact, now there is galamsey lithium galamsey over there. Soldier people have been sent out there to control that situation. And again, remember when Robert Mugabe removed the white farmers? Zimbabwe went into a certain kind of serious depression. Sanctions all over. But he kept Zimbabwe going until he was removed, and he ultimately passed on to eternity. Now his vice president at the time is now the president. That's him, Mnangagwa. Hey! They introduced a form of the gold dinar in their country to stabilize their economy. Hey! Zimbabwe presently is producing wheat unprecedentedly in Africa. Which African country has the record for the biggest amount of wheat production? It's Ethiopia. But today, Zimbabwe is giving Ethiopia a run for its money. Look at the headlines. Watch the headlines. Village wisdom pushing Zim's agric revolution. And this is from the Herald. Village wisdom pushing Zim's agric revolution. And Zim there is Zimbabwe. Just like Ghana is GH. Nigeria is Niger. Every country tries to find a short form of just representing it. Village wisdom pushing Zim's agric revolution. Run the rhythm. Come here. Simple village wisdom has impacted on the continued growth of Zimbabwe's agricultural revolution, which has seen the country producing its largest wheat harvest, ensuring that the nation becomes food secure. President Mnangagwa said yesterday in his presentation at the Dakar 2 Feed Africa Summit. The president spoke on Zimbabwe's vision for growth in agriculture, regional integration, public-private partnerships, and scaling up success stories. President Mnangagwa said village philosophy entails that, and this is important, the whole story is in the last paragraph there. Listen, President Mnangagwa said village philosophy entails a country must be ruled and developed by the people of that country. Holiday. Hey! Kaya jeme. Noko jeme. Noko ya jeme. Kwe, minoke. Watch it. President Mnangagwa said, village philosophy entails that a country must be ruled and developed by the people of that country. Jesus have mercy. That's village philosophy. Every hand must come on board. Put every shoulder to the wheel in the country. Forget about foreign participation. Forget about China coming in. Forget about this. Forget about that. The country should first and foremost come together and put shoulders to the wheel. All hands on deck. Roll the next page. In Zimbabwe, we had the problem of food insecurity. And we said, how much food do we want in a year to feed our nation? And the figure we got was 2 million tons of grain. So we said, because there is climate change, how many hectares of land can we put under irrigation? Self-watered farms or human-watered farms. Irrigation. To produce 2 million plus. They said they needed how much? How much? 2 million tons. And now they wanted 2 million plus tons to feed the nation. And we determined how much yield. How much yield does a hectare have? Hence, we knew the figures and we did that. And we are now food secure. How many African countries can speak like this? That we are food secure. We don't need to import food. We have our own food. Hey, let's finish it. It says what? Secondly, we have been importing our wheat. And this is very important, this paragraph. Secondly, we had been importing our wheat from Ukraine and fertilizer from Russia. Now that side is problematic. We thus decided to say we need about 240,000 tons of wheat. So how many hectares do we need under irrigation to grow wheat? And we calculated and put that number under wheat, and we are now wheat sufficient. And we believe next season we will be able to export wheat. Did you hear that? Next season, next year, they will export wheat from Zimbabwe. Said the president. But look at the last paragraph there. And we end there. To solve the fertilizer problem. You remember Zimbabwe, wheat from where? Ukraine. Fertilizer from where? Russia. But the two countries are fighting. But we need both. What do? They were able to solve the wheat problem. They will start feeding Africa with wheat from next year. How about the fertilizer? To solve the fertilizer problem, the country also explored the option of producing its own fertilizer. After noting that Zimbabwe has all the material for fertilizer production, dash it away. Africa, there's nothing we need that we don't have here. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Had Ukraine and Russia not gone to war, Zimbabwe would still be sleeping on its wheat and fertilizer. Today, Zimbabwe is going to supply wheat in export. Can you believe this? Zimbabwe is a leader now in cereal production in Africa. probably next to only Ethiopia. Congratulations, Zimbabwe. When we return, we have more. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Coco show them.
This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. Come here. Next story. And what does it say? It's about football, right? Watch it. It says Ghana needs an independent-minded coach. And this is Asamoah Gyan speaking. Asamoah Gyan, true? Do we all know Asamoah Gyan? My brother, my sister. Asamoah Gyan is this man here with the top of your jaw. This kind of haircut, in my days, we called it top of your jaw. I don't know how you call it now. He was the captain of the Black Stars. In fact, most Ghanaians would only remember him for that missed penalty. But he's bigger than that. Stonebwoy just came out a couple of days ago to say that he was the one who paid for his knee surgery. Today, Stonebwoy is able to walk and perform well on stage. It's all because of Asamoah Gyan. To God be the glory. Asamoah Gyan has been instrumental in so many different things. He loves Jama. He can dance. He can sing. Oh! He wanted to even bring an airline into the country. I think that project is still on. But this is what he says. That Ghana needs an independent-minded coach. Black Stars need a coach who won't take orders from people. And this Asamoah Gyan. Bring me the other headline. You see this headline? Black Stars need a coach who won't take orders from people. This Asamoah Gyan. Why is Asamoah Gyan saying this? Bring the other headline. Watch this. Your statement is insulting. GFA reacts to Sam George's allegations on Black Stars coaching job. Come here, let's see it. Quickly. He says what? General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, GFA, Prosper Harrison Adu, has responded to claims by Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram Samuel Nate George concerning the vacant Black Stars coaching job. The lawmaker has since January 24, 2023, trended on social media and in the traditional media space over claims that a corrupt GFA has appointed Chris Horton as the next Black Stars coach because the former Newcastle coach is someone they can manipulate. Dash it away. Did you see that? Somebody they can manipulate. They are not happy that he said that. It looks like the GFA is very interested in coaches they can manipulate. You remember Stephen Appiah, right? At the time that he was the player and also the captain of the Black Star, they had the same problem. But in the days of Abedi Pele, they didn't have that problem. In fact, we all remember the wonderful black coach who won us so many cups in the African Cup of Nations, right? We all remember. Oh my God. We all remember, my brother, my sister, how we carried that for 4 solid times and we finally took it for keeps. African Cup of Nations. But these days, there's a problem with the coach. We tried some Ghanaian coaches. Coaches like who? You know this coach, Stephen Appiah. Hey. Oh my God, Kwesi Appiah. Kwesi Appiah. Uncle Kwesi Appiah. I'm sure my dad Stephen Appiah is cursing me and saying, Charlie, this guy no get my muscle some. My big head some, this guy no get them. Any which way, on a more serious note, this is Kwesi Appiah. James Kwesi Appiah, full name. You know? Kwesi Appiah also lamented that the GFA tried to manipulate him, even though they never had their way. We're going to be telling you a story from next week. It's going to be crazy. Kwesi Appiah has spoken, and we're going to break the news. Oh gosh. Hear me now. Apart from Kwesi Appiah, we also had CK Akono. He also came in and did his thing. Well, he went away, and so many other such coaches. But today, Asamoah Gyan says what? Black Stars need a coach who won't take orders from people. And Asamoah Gyan has been a player of the Black Stars for so long. He is the most capped Ghanaian player. Asamoah Gyan was also the captain of the side. Ghana's all-time top scorer. Asamoah Gyan has hinted that the Black Stars need a coach who will be firm in taking his own decisions and not allow the Ghana Football Association to dictate to him. According to him, the Black Stars having a strict coach will restore the national team to where they belong and boosting certain qualities could improve the team. Well, I think I understand what he wants to say. Now, the Ghana FA are on the search for a new head coach following Otu Addo's decision to resign from his post after the Black Stars' early exit from the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Chris Houghton and James Kwesi Appiah are among the coaches who are interested in the vacant role, with the latter seeking a third spell in charge of the team. Dash it away. I will go for a black coach. I'll go for a black coach. I think Kwesi Appiah should be given the chance. He's been with the team twice. The second time, he didn't perform that badly. Let's give him the chance. He is firm himself. The last time that he was there, his salary was $35,000. They wanted to reduce it to $25,000. He refused it. He was quite firm. I believe that he can do something. This is a man who played in the local teams. In fact, he played for Asante Kotoko in the days. I remember him playing for Real Tamale United. I was a little chap when we used to run to the park there, Caladan Park, Sakura Park there, barefooted. And he was playing. He played alongside people like Abedi Pele and the rest. I think that he's paid his dues. And if he has the skills, let's nest the skills and see what he can do. This is the Blackboard. Come here. AKA Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. We pray that they get a good coach. And we pray that the national pride in terms of football and sports will be restored. This has been the Blackboard, AKA Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Hey! Woyo!